Hi folks, it's Daryl again, and this is Rotobaron. Today we are going to finish building this FT Coarse Air. You might remember this design from our flight test adventure where I crashed it, so decided to build a new one. So that's what we are going to do today. Let's go ahead and look at the parts that we already have assembled. We have the wing here. We still need to put in the control rods to make the ailerons move. And we've got our servo wires fished through, so that's good. So the wing is pretty much complete. We also have the fuselage here, part of it. Still need to put on the canopy and the turtle decking that'll go on top of here. And turtle decking is just a fancy word for that shape of the back of the tail here, how it forms into the fins. Which brings us to the tail fins. And so we've got our horizontal stabilizer here with the elevator, and still in the shell we have our vertical stabilizer and rudder assembly. We also have a nice box of electronics and stuff. So we're going to get all of this put together. I'm going to go and review the flight test build video because I'm not smart enough to do this all by myself. I'll review that and then we'll get started. The first thing that I wanted to determine is if these servos are indeed centered like they're supposed to be. And unfortunately, I do not have a servo tester to check that because I keep blowing them up. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way and use a radio receiver connected to a radio, just like it would be in normal flight. So here we go. I've got my radio receiver and got my servos all hooked up, my speed control hooked up, which connects to the battery, which provides power to the RC receiver. I'm going to go ahead and plug in or turn on the transmitter first. Okay, it's booted up and it is on my FT Corsair model. Set that off to the side for now. Now we're going to plug in our battery, making sure we got it red to red, black to black. There we go. And you can see the red light on the receiver now. And now when I actuate the servos, we have proper movement on either side. And I had to go and mess with the cables a little bit because I have these handwritten labels that I couldn't tell exactly what they are, so I had to move the throttle to the correct position and get the other aileron in the correct position. And the way these work together is through the computer programming in the radio. Yeah. One of the other things I noticed is this aileron here, it should be going both directions and it only goes one. So we're going to have to take a look at this cut. I think I can see why, because it's not cut all the way to the center, so it's just stopping itself. So we'll fix that, as well as installing the control horns here. But in order to do that, I need to find some quick linkages so that I can attach to the servo horns that are already plugged in. Alright, so here is what I'm struggling with. I'm trying to get this quick connect into the little hole there, and my fingers are just too fat to do it. So I'm going to leave the camera on while I struggle with this for a little while so that you all can laugh at me. Just needed to catch plastic and go in. Now that the aileron can move in both directions, you can see it there. So we've got there, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so we'll plug this guy in, lock the servo off, and lock off that. And one final thing, let's make sure these are moving in the right direction. So take my radio. Let's see. So when I move the stick this way, this aileron should move up. Yay! That means that wing is going to dip down because the air flowing over it is going to hit the pushed up aileron and push the wing down. Same thing's going to happen on this side, except the wind coming from the bottom is going to push this side up. So we have our ailerons in the correct direction and functioning. Yay! Wing done. Alright, now that our wing is assembled, we have the assembled fuselage, at least most of the way, and now it's time to join them. So we're going to wait for the hot glue gun to heat up and then get that taken care of. And since I'm working with hot glue, let's put the apron on. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for now. And start working on the tail. Now our tail is all assembled. Next, we're going to prep the fuselage to receive the tail by cutting out our airplane has a tail and starting to look like a real airplane. Okay, I think that's enough messing with that, and it looks fairly decent. Okay folks, that is going to do it for me for tonight. And here we have the Corsair and how far I've gotten. So some good, nice chicken soup is waiting for me. So I'm going to go have some dinner. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. It's another day and we have work to do on the Corsair, so let's get started. First thing I think I'm going to do is finish off the canopy here, so let's get started. Looks good. All right. Next step is our motor mount. All right, that is not going anywhere. It's nice and strong. All right, next step. This is good. Let me see if we can find the other one. Perfect. Yes, you can see I keep an absolutely clean workspace at all times. These little blocks that I just glued together sit about here in the fuselage, and they allow you to attach the cowling. So we're going to do that next. Okay, while that dries, time to prepare the cowling. So peel off the back of the paper. Round-ish. Piece of tape on there. The next thing that we have to do is check the center of gravity. So I'm going to take on here from the leading edge measure about 1.5 inches back. If I can find my pencil. Be able to balance it out. It should balance on your fingers, unlike what it's doing now. We need to get a battery in there, so forage for one. We could use this, but I'm going to use a bigger battery in this plane. It's a lot better. Still a bit tail heavy though. Okay. I think there's no more room to move that battery up. I found a battery right there. So that's a 3-cell 800 milliamp hour battery. I've got it slid up just about as far as it can go. Let's see if it balances now. There we go. It's kind of going back and forth. But it wants to fall forward for the most part. There we go. I think that's balanced well enough. And I think that means we are ready to go fly this. Stay tuned. Now we're going to go ahead and charge the battery. So I've got my little charge adapter there. Plug into the balance port. Again. This is LiPo charge. I actually want to do balance. So LiPo balance. Battery check is good. And there we go.